Okay. Hello, guys. Welcome to another, that's right, another Team Wars talk. This time with me, new guy. You guys do not know me, but these people in the guest room do know me. I'm gonna introduce them one by one, going down the list from top to bottom, right? Alright, so first, we got the one and only Andy Sang from Bricks and Potatoes. How are you? Hope you're doing fine. Great answer. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. Keck. How are you, Andy? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's PST, so it's still technically morning for us.
True. I mean, glad to hear that though. Next, we got I don't like this guy, but it's Buns. That's right, from APK. How are you, Buns? Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Soup. Yeah, I'm doing great right now. Hope you're doing good as well.
You guys were late, so I'm doing a pretty match. Next, we got the actually the only guy that wasn't late, blarajan. Love that guy from Smogon.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, even though I didn't play.
It's okay. We'll talk about your team's match. And the guy, my homie from another mother, James, the Sauce God from Phoenix.
Yo,
What's up, my dude?
guys? What up, Soup?
Hope you're doing well, man. It's been a while. And the one and only, the world's player, soon to be, right? 2021, maybe, hopefully. Negative1
Maybe.
from Tier 0.
I am back again. They can't get rid of me.
True.
Did you see when
I am here for the
posted a
saucy
message to,
boy.
like, congratulate Groot, but I didn't even say 2021 because I
Oh
don't even know if it's
wait,
gonna be
let's.
Yeah,
Hey, hold
let's be
on! Don't
honest.
spoil! Don't
Konami's
spoil!
just
Hold on! Don't spoil
annihilating
about that.
2021.
It's never gonna happen.
All right, so I just want to say I'm glad you guys are showing up today. Means a lot to me. Let me change this real quick. There you go. So obviously our topics right now, you can see them on the right. We're gonna go from top to bottom. Obviously, we're gonna try to speed through the first three just because we all know what we want to talk about. It's pretty obvious, so we're gonna try to speed through it. Or for
Good.
starters, we are going to start with, well, there you go, Phoenix versus 12 o'clock. So it was a 10-6. Heroes kind of dominated. It's really interesting. So James, what was your game plan into this specifically?
Win. Classic strategy.
True. Don't brick
We're
win.
gonna go in. We're gonna
respect it.
execute. We're gonna win. But yeah, it was pretty bad. This was a rough one. There was some big misplays, throws, that sort of stuff.
Sidra T0, you fool.
Freaking drizzles. Tier 0, you fools. I don't believe that. But what were you a little scared of your opponents in terms of what decks they were gonna bring?
Always, yeah.
Always,
We were terrified for sure.
always prepared. That's that's how I like it.
You never really know.
Yeah. All right. So just quickly, we're just trying to, like I said, we know what we want to talk about. So next, the infamous, one of the 10 ones in this week, Smogon versus Diffusion. Sperific actually going 10-1. Categories going 7-0. So Blar, what you gotta say about that?
So we know we'd like, well, one, you love to see it, right? I mean, Diffusion didn't, but we definitely love to see
That's messed up, bro. Drizzles is in the chat.
sorry.
That's
No,
messed
well,
up.
okay, so going in, we were, all we wanted to do during the week was just take a win. We needed to secure our standing, so like we went in. Diffusion's a great team. We had Sheeran Karakuri. There was a bunch of similarly situated decks in the back just because of where the meta was. And fortunately for us, we needed to pick up round differential somewhere. And now we went from not really in a great spot going into playoffs to being in the top wild, like it was somewhere in the top wild card standings. So
Yeah, I believe you are.
we really needed to pick up. We didn't expect it to happen like that, but definitely no complaints on our end at least.
Yeah, definitely. I believe you were from eliminating wildcard to number 4, I believe, if I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, you
I
are.
think so.
You're right under APK. What did I want to say? Right
Under Buns, just like where we like to
right
be.
under Buns. That's true. I wanted to bring up a little side note. If you guys do not have Sperific in your fantasy league, you guys are just messing up. My man has been clapping fools left and right. He's just a consistent player. Whether that's the decks or that's him, we will see in week 10 because a lot has changed between the weeks, right? So we will talk about that soon, but hopefully it's fine.
There were quite a few decks, just like the one Sperific used, hanging out in the back of the lineup that fortunately we didn't have to bring in.
Yeah. Also, in another side note, this is, like I said, this week we got 2 10-1s. This was one of them. The other one was Switcheroo versus I forget the team. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to mention that. So next up, we got TZ Negative. What happened, my boy, my dog?
Alright, so the first 8 games we go second, and then I know the last 4 games we go second, and then in the middle we go first and second.
Is that
So it's like-
is that a theme going on? Go second, you lose in this meta.
Yeah. I mean, Karakuri was the best deck. Well, we can talk in past tense because Karakuri is now dead.
Right. But we don't want to spoil that yet, right? I mean, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
What is there to spoil?
We'll talk
Yeah,
about it.
okay, sure.
We'll talk about it.
But yeah, like when the meta is really coin flip heavy, if your opponent goes first, like it's really a dominating position. Like going first should like if you go first and you don't brick, you should almost always like convert that into a win. So yeah, not to like
Were you?
absolve us of any like
Yeah.
agency. I think
Right.
there were definitely a number of games that.
But were you
could've been,
happy? Were you
improved by
were you
the
specifically happy with the decks that you brought in, like your team, not as you yourself, but as your team?
As a team, I think we should have brought more Karakuri. It's the only change, I think.
Was it-
I think at the start of the format, I was like, if you're not bringing 5 Karakuri, you don't understand the format. And then this war, we brought 4 Karakuri. So,
What's well,
I just wanted
what-
to support that statement.
yeah, what's your guys' opinions on what Negative1 just said? That
I just want to support that statement.
Yeah.
yeah,
pretty
I mean, it was true on like, well, the format started week 2, and then like by week 3, I was like, if you're not bringing 5 Karakuri, what are you doing? And then a lot of people are like, nah, there's other decks, like Shiranui can do stuff, these decks can just No, that's a lie. Don't lie to yourself. Karakuri is the best deck. But,
I do agree. I think
yeah.
Alright, like, I don't want to, like...
Okay, Andy,
well, first of all, hold on. I just want to
ask
say
yourself,
I just want
what
to say
deck
hold on.
did you
Hold on.
run this
No,
week?
let me say what I have to say.
First,
So,
let me say,
I-
Sakura, thank you so much for the 5 gifts. You can keep going. Andy, go ahead.
Okay, so I think I disagree that Karakuri is the best deck, but I definitely think that it's the deck that defines the format, not because it's like single, like it's like in a tier of its own, but because compared to the other decks of the same level, it's a lot more popular. Like Krishrons will never be a deck that is like popular enough in a tournament setting or even a team war setting that you would like specifically dedicate a lot of your main deck or your side deck or whatever resources you have into beating it, because it's like outside of like Top Cut, it's probably not going to be very highly represented.
I thought we were... No, sorry.
In the case for like Team Wars, I think that first of all, I think that like bringing a lot of Karakuris is a very viable strategy, and I think a lot of people discredit teams that bring a lot of Karakuri as like teams that are just trying to win with luck. I disagree with that, but I also don't think that like Karakuri spamming is like the only strategy that works in like this past meta that we had from like week 2 to now.
Yeah, I want to speak to...
Yeah.
I definitely agree that it's not the only thing that happens, right? Like, so many other teams are doing really well with other decks and bringing up like at least I just want to say like our thought was that in a lot of ways that Karakuri, especially in that last metagame, was like the deck that had the best opportunity to streak, even if like Karakuri was flipping with Karakuri so frequently. Like the I think in like the previous match like statistics, right? Like Karakuri wasn't actually going that positive.
I think I think like closer to the beginning of the format,
in the streak.
Yeah, you had like pretty much like it was like a pretty understandable thing to bring a lot of Karakuri, but I think closer to the end, because so many teams do it, I think it's a lot more understandable for like teams to try to find ways to not just like bring a bunch themselves and then like have a whole like coin flip war and try to like to varying levels of success, try to find ways to beat Karakuri spam strategies, right? Like I think there are teams that don't bring a lot, but consistently beat teams that do bring a lot. Does that make sense? Like, but at the same time, there's also teams that don't bring Karakuri and they get completely murdered by like a bunch of Karakuri. So I think, yeah.
It also
not
like,
as like black
the
and white
Karakuri
as,
too, right? Like the Karakuri builds aren't. I do think that Karakuri did get a lot of slack for like just folks saying
Helmet
that
deck.
the different tech choices didn't matter. Like the different tech
Yeah.
choices really did
Mhm.
absolutely matter.
Yeah, exactly.
And it helps like swing some of the matchups. Like you make with Karakuri with Hypa is better against Magician Girls than Karakuri without Hypa, or some shit like something like that, right? Or just like other options. Like it's not extraordinarily smart, but the way you crafted it really did help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said. I mean, I zoned out in most of it because, I mean,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, it's not the meta anymore. I'm sorry. I was trying to hype it up, but we all know -1 is right. So let's move on to the next match. APK versus Immortals. APK taking it 10-7. Pretty much, it looks like their best winning deck was Katakuri and DM. So, Buns, what exactly happened?
Yeah, so this week we kind of tried something different. Like Andy said, some teams like ourselves doesn't really bring a lot of Karakuris because we tried it. Like it was definitely not a lot of testing, but we didn't like we tried it in scrims and stuff. We didn't like the coin flip maybe because we got unlucky with all the coin flips, and so we really didn't like it. But this week. We decided to bring a similar strategy to TZ and Smogon with multiple Karakuri. It worked out. Yeah, it worked out well in the start, but then we started re-bricking. It wasn't even the coin flips. We were just re-bricking with the deck, and that gave Immortals the chance to come back. But then I got lucky, I guess, with my deck and closed it in the end with DM.
I mean,
That was about
what can
it,
you
but-
say, man? Insect deck carries. Rod,
Yeah,
circle,
sometimes.
set nav, man. What can you do? You just win. They can't beat that.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna play. I was subbing for Ragnar, who couldn't play in the match, so I subbed in for him.
Oh yeah, I did heard that. I did heard about that. I hope he's that was an emergency, right? I hope he's okay.
He's okay now. It was just an emergency that he had to go during the match.
Good to hear. But with that, we will move on to the analyst. Real quick, boom. Match breakdown. To no surprise, Katakuri. Top cut, obviously. And I'm pretty sure no surprise, invoked Magician Girls being second. Obviously the counter, arguably the best counter to Katakuri. It does look like Katakuri is over 50% in win rates. Is that more surprising, or is that more in shock in terms that they should have more wins or they should have more losses? In your
I
guys'
think-
opinion.
I think for like it's been pretty consistently like 51,
Yeah.
52, 53%.
Yeah, I think it's on par.
Most play strategy is almost always gonna like be more
sure, yeah.
closer to 50% than any other deck, just
Yeah,
because it has the
because-
largest sample size.
And then also like execution wise, it's like you have teams that execute it correctly, and then also teams that are not like thinking like very deeply about like how they're gonna use it, so then they're not gonna have the same results.
And then also, like, just as was being said before, like, the coin flip nature of the metagame, and, like, even in the Karakuri mirrors, it's just, like, one of the Karakuri has to lose, and that Karakuri probably went second. Yeah.
Oh, one thing though, this win rate thing doesn't really factor in the mirrors, so these ones are excluded in this.
Fair
one.
enough. So, yeah, okay.
That's fair enough. Yeah, that's understandable. But the thing that kind of shocks me is actually Control Shiranui with 47 played, 14 wins. Is that accurate to what this meta is in Team Wars?
I think Control Share has really fallen off from like maybe like the beginning of the format, where like a lot of the things that it can do are
Oh, right.
not as
Win rate, right? It's not wins, apparently.
like a lot of like the roles that it served at like the beginning are kind of like outclassed by other decks now, I think.
Always was. But
Yeah, but like as
in a
like,
more
the meta
serious note, like, yeah, I get what you're saying. In all actuality, it's just very, how should I say? It's not as like effective as any of the other strategies at doing what you like would want it to do. If you wanted to say counter like one of the very specific matchups, then you're better off running their Karakuri tech for that, or just Magician Girls or Kristrons.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's a segue to Kristrons because looking at Kristrons, they are split between obviously regular Kristrons and the non-SSA and then SSA Kristrons, where non-SSA actually has more wins compared to SSA. I know Negative1 is a big fan of Kristrons. Do you know why the level dupe? Obviously, it's most likely level dupe. Why does that have more win rates, more wins, I should say, than SSA?
Generally, a more aggressive build is better against Karakuri. And
Finally,
Yeah.
I do not get why every team was thinking that they should be bringing in SSA Crystron to the Karakuri. Like when we were bringing Karakuri into SSA Crystron.
yeah, it's like
pretty actively, like that was our counter pick, and then they very happily brought it for us.
yeah. I'm pretty sure TZ brought like. There were times when we got counterpicked with SSA into Karakuri, and then even if we lost, we just sent Karakuri back at it, and it's like.
Yeah. But, like level dupe was just more able to get you the board states that put the pressure into the deck, and like we're able to flip the Karakuri matchup harder.
Okay,
And that's like,
if that's the case, what is the difference between SSA and dupe? Right? Why is SSA slower to be aggressive?
Typically,
because,
any.
yeah,
It's just like you get access to almost all of your extra deck like far more consistently, or like just with any starter and like any Crystron card, you can almost always summon like any synchro. Just because of the level control, you're more able to go into a Coral, you're more able to go into a Black Rose, and these things like just like blowing up stuff and nuking the board, like clearing all their cards. It's really strong against Karakuri. Generally, SSA is more geared towards control matchups, so I understand why some people might think that, oh, Karakuri, it has back row, so SSA should help there, when in reality it's like SSA is good for grind games, but like Karakuri doesn't want to play a grind game, it wants to like shut you out, and in that scenario it's like better to have a more aggressive build.
Are they more just like tunnel visioned into like, let me set up whale, let me sit on it, and that's just a downfall, right?
It's not that, it's just that setting up whale and sitting on it is not as impactful.
and then also you're drawing into your cards so often with Karakuri that like you just hit your Cosmic one time, and that's like 6 cards of their deck. That's just not that helpful anymore. Whereas, and I know you can play around to like set up the thing, put Umi in grave, like try to be a little bit more like try to not get Cosmic as easily, but at the end of it, you're just losing half the package, and then you don't have like the options to make Black Roses easily or something, and just nuke your board.
I see. So, is there anything in the Week 9 reports that surprises you, or maybe you're shocked to see it so low? Like, what deck do you guys see that should be better in this type of format?
I think it looks about right.
So you agree with everything from Katakuri being top, Magician Girls being bottom, right? Like right under it.
Well, I mean, Magician Girls is usually what people use to counter Karakuri, so if Karakuri is like the most common, then it makes sense why Magician Girls is right behind it.
Yeah,
Makes sense. So
I think
we're gonna look at the obviously the win rates. Unless you have something to say, Negative1.
it kind of ties into the usage and the win rates. It's mostly that for a long time TZ has been like this like group of Shiranui doubters, and like I feel like at the very end of the format, other people are like at a point where they kind of agree with the things TZ are doing, or like have been doing since week 2. But anyway,
Interesting though. I don't know. You did lose the
a lot of this is
FM.
just gonna be me
I
patting
don't
myself
know.
on the back.
I don't know. But looking at the win rates,
I'll say like Shira has like Control Shira has like a small niche where like it's a deck that you can use, like a control deck that you can send for character that doesn't also get completely bodied by Krishrons, right? The way that like Magician Girls would. And so like I think for a while that was pretty relevant because Krishrons was also really popular like for a while, but or even now. But I think that just as like line or like pairs were more refined, like that like the ability to have like decent matchups against both those decks was not as important anymore as it was to just like make sure that you could take out like the character.
Do you think that I thought that the like Magician Girls into Karakuri wasn't actually like as bad, if that makes sense? Like we also kind of liked Shira going into Karakuri sometimes too, just because Invoke Magician Girls also had just so many times we had those hands with like 3 monsters and an invocation or 3 monsters and an Alistair or something, and like if you don't get your back row out, you're dying, and Shiranui was more consistently getting out its back row. Like we just didn't love Magician Girls Karakuri either, so like that was like the thought process too. It was like, well, Shira's also pretty good in a similar way, but it has fewer times in our like experience that like it just gets blown out. And
I think like in the end, like the backbreaker is just that Magician Girls do beat Shira at like pretty consistent. So like just like if you have 2 control decks that have like a similar role, but one of them also beats the other one like a very high percentage of the time, then it gives that one a lot more value.
I think part of it's also just like how you build the Magician Girls. Just like because half the deck is back row, you know, so it's like depending on what back row you're running, and like it's similar to Karakuri in that sense. Like some people might think, oh, it's just have X% of your deck is traps, just put in whatever traps. But no, like if you just throw in whatever versus if you take the time and like think, well, the meta or like what people are running right now is this, so having these sorts of traps, this sort of defense is better than just running 3-3-3 or what, you know? So
yeah, for sure.
I think there were weeks where Magician Girls actually had a losing win rate against Karakuri, and I think those times maybe there's of course a degree of variance and you don't in small sample size, but I think there is a degree of teams might not know like how exactly they want to build the deck, and because of that the win rate may like fluctuate.
I think also like something that's kind of cool about last format that is not true for every format is that like your count, like when you send in a deck to counter another deck, it's not like you 100% win that game. Like I think there's a lot of decision making involved in terms of like the actual game, like how the actual game is played. It's not just like, okay, well, like Dark Magician beats like Shira like 90% of the time, so unless you brick, like there's nothing they can do, right? Like it's not as rock paper scissors as some formats can be. And like even though like last format did have its flaws, I think that was like one of the nicer things about it.
Like my last thought on that is just in so many instances, like in case of tie or in case of counter pick does not work great, so just throw the hammer at it, and the hammer is Karakuri. And I am hopefully like I did appreciate like games not being bring in the deck and then you win, but it was also annoying from a strategy perspective to just say like, all right, well, cool, we can still think we know what they're gonna bring, and we can still get streaked on by the same thing.
Yeah, but like it would be, I think it's a lot more fun than just like because like in the formats where decks counter each other so hard, you're pretty much your decision making is like you have rock, you have paper, you have scissor, and before the war you decide how many of each one you're bringing, and then during the war you decide whether you're gonna counter rock with paper or you're gonna counter rock with rock, and that's it. And like that's how a lot of the hard counter formats end up being. Whereas like last format is like even if you have like a defined like good matchup and you send the matchup in, there's like a lot can happen within the game itself that can decide like who wins.
Yeah,
Can decide who wins the game. Yeah.
the micro is really important.
I do agree on the rock paper scissors analogy. That's I would say that pretty much defines the last meta. Kind of send in this deck against that deck, this deck against that, and hope for the best. You know, it could end up not working out, or it could just work up in your favor. Who knows? But I think Crystron's just overall have a positive win rate, except for 2 matchups. Obviously, Desperado they lost only 1 match, and Heroes they went even. So they are the most positive win rate out of any other deck. And then speaking of Desperado, my man Desperado went even with every matchup, even positive on some except for SSA. But we might see more Desperado soon. So is there anything else you guys you see in this win rate percent that catches your eyes? Anything?
I'll say something about Heroes. Like I was like it's kind of weird to say, but like just because like Heroes play Cosmic and stuff, but I actually think SSA has a better matchup versus Heroes than Level Do, just because Level 2 probably doesn't play Rion or Zekron, whereas like some SSA builds do.
I honestly think it's the other way around, but like I understand why
Really?
you might think that.
Yeah, like in terms of like the actual win condition, like I think SSA is useless, but I think just the fact that you play Rion makes that matchup more favorable for Crystron for SSA than it would be for Level 2. But it has nothing to do with SSA.
Well, I mean, perhaps, but we might not see SSA anytime soon. But, you know, here we are. The meta-analysis, the final slideshow until we get into the big one. Well, actually, one more topic, and then we get into the big ones. But, you know, Spirific, like I said, if you don't have him on your fantasy league, you are messing up. He is clapping. He's just always consistent.
Login Duel or SDL stands for Sporific Duel Links, and that's all. Yeah.
Oh, true. You're right. And we got a couple of other members in here, like MedZR from Phoenix, GIF from BNP. MedZR always consistent. I always see him at least go always positive. I never see him go negative. I don't know about this week, so I didn't get to watch any match. I don't really know how he went. But with that, we are going to go into the week 10 predictions. Obviously, we're only going to talk about who is on the guest because we just want to go into the next topics because they're more important. So, Bricks, BNP Andy is going to go against a Garuda. Have you guys faced them before? I don't remember.
We played them a couple times. We actually last time we played them was in season 5, but I don't know, we used to scrim them a lot actually back in like season 2 and 3, so like we're good friends.
Yeah, in terms of win rate or in terms of records, technically Bricks should win that favorably. Next up, we do got APK Buns versus the current champions, the defending champions, D-Fusion. Buns, I hope you're very prepared for that. Much like Smogon
This
is.
a bubble match, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this
I
is a
don't
bubble
think the
match.
loser makes
There's a lot
playoffs.
of
This is a
Yeah,
bubble
so
match.
There's a lot of stakes on our game against Diffusion because both of us need this win to make it. So yeah, whoever loses is 100% out. So yeah, it's It's gonna be a difficult match, especially with the new meta and everything changing. But we're gonna be prepared for it.
But have you guys faced before in last season? I know Diffusion was a new team last season, but did you guys
No,
face?
no, we didn't face last season.
So this is your first time, okay. That's gonna be a good match. I think that's the one you kind. I think for week 10, that's the one you. I think that might be the match of the week. Everyone needs to watch it. But next we got Smogon against. Shit, where the hell is Smogon? Ah, there he is. All the way at the bottom. Immortals.
The slides.
Have you guys faced before? I don't think I've ever seen you guys face against Immortals.
I
Actually,
think we lost. I don't remember what season it was. I think season. Yeah, I didn't forget what season it is. But we played them. We lost like 10-6, I think. So we're looking forward to having the chance to not do that again. Yeah. We don't have much of a relationship with the team, but like strong team, and regardless of their record, we're going to be taking the match extraordinarily seriously because playoffs are on the line for us too.
let me put the week 10 up just because no one can see it. Boom. All right. Next up, we got the man, my god, my homie itself, James. Phoenix versus Pharaohs. Also a bubble match, I believe. So whoever wins this pretty sure makes it.
It's pretty big.
Aren't you guys X3?
We are, so like we're first in the wild card standing right now because our division's pretty strong.
Yes.
Claw Clan really
Yeah.
came on late, like they beat us. Funny, Claw Clan actually beat us like 3 times in a row between Team Wars and Clan Wars in like 3 weeks. It was wild. A wild ride.
Rockman has been insane like these past couple weeks.
Dude, they really have. But so like we could lose this if it's a close loss and other teams lose, we could still make playoffs. But Pharaohs needs to win to make it. So like if it's pretty close, but we could still potentially make it with a loss. But obviously, 7-3 is kind of how Phoenix always ends, so we're gonna try to do that like always.
Here's hoping. I do believe that's also. I would also call that a match that you want to watch. Pharaohs and APK versus Diffusion. Both of them are bubbles. They're very important for both. All 4 teams. Keep your eye on it. I'm pretty sure it will be close, especially Phoenix versus Pharaohs. Next we got -1 TZ Tier 0 versus Draw Sense. Against the new team. Draw Sense was doing good, but then they kind of just started losing in the last 4 weeks, unfortunately.
So this match, the thing about like saying too much is that in Clan Wars, actually, Forbidden Memories and 1% are like playing this week in Clan Wars playoffs, and like 40% of the team is on 1%, 40% of the team is on Forbidden Memories. So we're actually not even going to talk until like after the Clan Wars on Friday. And then we're going to spend legit like all of Saturday like sharing the week's worth of testing. So, yeah.
Edu laughing in chat right now.
Yeah, it's going to be like... legit everybody on our active roster is going to be testing, so it's like we're going to do, not to say like twice the testing of other teams, but it's like because we both have to test for a war before like team wars, we're probably going to be very prepared, I think.
Yes, and
That's just my thoughts.
I do actually, surprisingly, I didn't even realize this, but all the matches that we just talked about are actually in the wild card standings. They are all a bubble match. Every single one of them.
This is so close.
I don't think TZ, like, unless they lose by like 10, I don't think they can miss playoffs. Right?
Because they're gonna go 6-4, and
No,
if they have to get a bad RD. If they have a RD,
Yeah, like we have the same RD and the
Yeah.
same
Oh,
win.
it really
loss.
comes down to the win or
If TZ
RD.
loses, like that could be the difference between us making it, if that makes sense. If we both lose and TZ loses by more, like if we
Yeah.
go 9-10, they go 8-10, we could make it, or vice versa. This is gonna
Would
be
there
crazy.
be a would there be a
This week to
tiebreaker?
you. Yeah, they did a tiebreaker not last season, but the season before, right?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
which
when
team was
BNP
that?
played
Garuda.
against Garuda. It
No,
was BNP versus
my
Garuda,
team
right?
is Garuda.
Was it
Yeah.
Garuda? Okay.
Yeah, basically this week's match.
Oh,
Yeah,
poor
right,
guys.
That's funny.
Yeah. Andy asking if there was a tiebreaker. Just wanted to get.
No, I wasn't sure if
Just
like,
wanted to bring it
that
up.
No, that was like the requirement. Like I didn't know if like there'd be like more, like not like tiebreaker games, but like
Like a
tiebreaker
play.
stats to, like other things to take into account before they decide that you guys have to play a tiebreaker, right? Because there could also
Oh.
be like
I mean, I
there could
think
also
it's,
be like most
Only if we
wins
played
or-
each other, I think.
yeah,
we
if
were
there's like a
playing it.
head-to-head, then that takes precedent. But it's like if
Yeah.
two teams haven't even crossed paths, then it's like
Yeah.
the only
Which is
way to
another good
settle it.
point because like Claw
Yeah,
Clan and
exactly.
Phoenix, since we're in the same division, we've played each other. So since they beat us,
Mhm.
we could both end 7-3 or 6-4 this week. But if we tie on win-loss, which we're really close on our RD, they would be ahead, so they would be second place, and not have
Yeah.
to do this wild card bullshit.
Is
It's gonna be so close in so
is
many ways.
is this season the closest it's ever been in wildcard standings? I think it
No,
has,
this is-
right?
This is the same as last season.
The
Every
four
Wild card is
bottom
always pretty
placement.
close, to be
I
honest.
honestly,
Yeah.
like the bottom four teams, like the next couple, are like all within like 2 RD though. It's
Yeah.
bananas.
The only
even.
reason why it feels so
It's close.
close is because like 4 people in this voice call are playing for their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah,
pretty much. Yeah.
I'd be a little biased.
But- I can't remember what season we changed playoffs from like. How many teams go now? Is it 12?
12.
Yeah.
So it used to be like
Yeah.
16 or something like
It was,
that.
it was only 16 for like one season.
Yeah. Oh, was it really? I thought it was like
Yeah.
season 1 and 2.
I
Maybe
don't know
3.
about season 1, but it was like I don't know about season 1, but season 3 was 16 teams, and I think that was the only time.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it was only season 3. I'm pretty sure like
Okay,
season
okay.
1. Season 1 was just a top 4, I think.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I remember Sunfan beat some team in top 8. But like I didn't really watch the rest of the season.
I'm gonna pull up that that wild card, see how close it really is. I mean, you can see it right there. It's
I'm
pretty
sure there's
close.
more teams close too. Like there's teams not in this picture that can still make it.
Yeah.
It's nuts, man.
Oh, it's crazy. It all rides on
there's
this week.
actually one-
Why is
there's only
Snow
one, I
on
think.
4th and Diffusion 5th?
No. It's just because they played each other, so
Head to
Snowman
head.
had-
It's head to head. They win.
Oh, they did play each other?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you're
They
right.
played each other
They
last
played.
week.
They
Yeah.
played. Yeah, they
Yeah,
literally
okay,
played them
okay.
last
Yeah,
week.
one-
You okay?
You know-
You okay, bro?
You know the 10-1 we were talking about?
Yeah.
Hey, bro, you okay? You all right? All right, I think we're gonna move on from that because it looks like Andy's a little confused. So, I think we're gonna start talking about the little baby stuff, and then we'll go into the bigger one. So, KC Cup finally, after a full 7 days, the full 7 days, no lie, the longest it's been for aggregating results. We finally got the results, and it is actually one of the members in our guests, one of the team members. To no surprise, it's Grucius. Always number 2, finally number 1.
Yes.
Technically still number 2.
Technically still number 2, yes. But he finally got
Biblical
the
7 days.
yeah.
Only God himself could have given Lucius this world's ticket.
So happy for him though, for real. That's crazy.
It is
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, it's a little upsetting to know that this is gonna be known as the Cheater Cup. You know, this KC Cup specifically, and Grucius won it, so you know, a little upsetting. But you know, hey, invited's invite. He got it. He finally got it.
And we look forward to him doing his best in 2024.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really
Uh,
can't wait to meet him in, you know, the next decade
23?
sometime.
His grandkids.
Yeah.
Whenever that is. But it's time. It's time to talk about the new Banlist. Thoughts, guys? What has happened to the meta?
What
They
meta?
killed a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
what meta, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
what meta
Yeah, there's
exactly?
no meta anymore.
So they not only killed Invoked, Cositis is gone. He is banned. Cositis is gone. The Cock is banned. Cock is gone, boys. Let's go. Katakuri's no longer consistent. Christrons,
No longer exact.
poor guys. But what's surprising about Christrons is that I've been moderating for a certain Duel Links entertainment tournaments. You may know it. You may know it's Battle Phase, and I've seen some interesting Christron deck lists.
Actually, so one of my teammates, he went 5-0 with some weird Christian build yesterday, and then overnight he made like another one that's completely different, and then I think he's 4-0 right now.
This round is fun, right? Like they still have a
Yeah.
lot of good pieces, even if they don't have like
Uh,
Yeah.
like, just pop get
So,
tuner. Still really strong.
In just like if you write down the ban list right on paper, what is dead on your eyes?
Karakuri.
sure, anyway.
Sure, Nui, yeah.
Karakuri. Probably.
I
Yami.
still take Karakuri more than Shiranui.
You really
Yeah,
think
I'm
Shiranui is dead? I've seen some lists.
I
No,
tried to make a
yeah.
Shiranui list, like just like not like maybe like right after I saw the list, I was like, okay, so 3 Gozukis, 2 Solitaires, and like what else can I put?
I'm not
Like, you
saying
can't-
Shiran's not
you have
also
no-
dead.
Like I'm not gonna put in like Samurai Skull or stuff, right? Like
No.
Nah, it's dead.
Yeah.
DM's dead.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
DM.
You can try, but
No.
Yeah.
you're gonna be on your own.
The insect is dead. Finally, insect is
Yeah,
gone.
that's
Just
Oh,
watch
DM as well, yeah. DM, yeah.
Buns was the
DM
last
second.
hurrah. Buns got to use that the last match, the last week. He got it.
Honestly, I could see Dark Magician still being alive.
Really?
Okay,
2
no.
rod and 1
Keep
nav?
that to yourself.
Sure.
Yeah, no.
Keep that to yourself. I don't agree with that.
No.
I mean, you might be right, but like nobody wants to see it, so.
True.
No, I
That's the
completely
real
agree.
thing.
You don't have enough net.
I freaking hate.
But somebody made a good comparison to TCG to Duel Links when I think it was yesterday that they said this ban list made them feel like it was the ban list that Konami made in TCG when Xyz came out and synchros were still meta, that they just banned a lot of synchros just to make the Xyz better, to make them meta.
I disagree, because when I know what ban lists are talking about, but when that happened, it was like the decks that they hit were not even doing well anymore, and they hit them only because they were old decks. And then like, there's like new decks that were like winning all the tournaments, but they didn't get touched at all. I think this is more comparable to like a little bit later on when the TCG and OCG used to have the same ban list, and at one point they stopped doing that, and they each had their own individual ban list because technically OCG gets cards 3 months earlier, so like the formats are technically different anyways. And when that happened, both the list split and they hit cards for balance reasons, and they hit a lot of cards for balance reasons, and that's how it feels like for this now.
I suppose so. Obviously, I don't know much about TCG. I barely know anything
Like,
about Duel
the point
Links.
is that like I don't think they hit cards because they're old. I think they hit them because
They were just a problem.
Want something, or like they want something fresh. Like they want not. It's not that they want to like push new cards. Like that they want to push specific cards that are or that there are cards that are doing well that they want to push.
The problem with
It's
saying
they
that
just, yeah.
the problem with saying that they want to push something fresh is that they hit a lot of the problematic meta cards like Shiranui, DM, right, Krishrons, Katakuri, but they didn't hit Sidras, they didn't hit
All they had to
Blackwings.
do was hit core. All they had to do was hit core.
So they hit neither of the OTK
So
decks.
happy.
Yeah,
They
but-
basically exchanged
my-
Dragoonity, so Dragoonity is perfectly fine. So they didn't really do much, right? They're not trying to push new decks because you're just going back to the old meta decks.
Yeah, like I think it's an attempt at like balancing, and like maybe they missed a couple things, but I think the purpose of this ban list was completely like balance based.
Yeah.
Maybe, but can you see like Onamat and the water deck, more Xyz
I
oriented?
I tried that deck like right after the ban list, and
Fun?
maybe I just suck at it, but I couldn't do anything.
What?
Like,
If
I-
you
I
play
just-
Tony Matt, I feel the exact same way.
Maybe you guys
Yeah,
aren't
like,
big brain.
I tried it, and it's like, yeah, honestly, I'm a pretty small brain player, so that could be the case. But like,
I play that deck a lot. It really doesn't like it's mainly good against back row decks, and right now they killed all the back row decks, so it really didn't accomplish much. What's holding it back was crystals, but then they killed the back row decks that were good matchups for it. So it's kind of like another bad spot for it.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I
if
remember
that's
looking at Animat and it's like, oh wow, it can Trunade. All right, what else? And the answer never came.
Not
True.
kill them. Not kill them. Yeah. I remember I was playing like, I think my teammate he ended on like Joe and Raikiri, and I couldn't kill him with like True Nade full combo.
don't ask for
Huh.
Joe, man. Don't ask for Joe. That's all I gotta say. But if they hit all these, new decks, relative right, long-standing decks, what would you guys like to see, being put in? Like what type of XEs or what type of like archetype support do you specifically want to see? Obviously, we're not Konami. We can't, call it. But what is your guys' opinions on what should be coming in? Anything?
I think they can get away with more like defensive stuff. Or, like,
I thought Direwolf was a really healthy card for
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like there are some Exceeds that are way better than Direwolf, but like Direwolf in terms of like how strong the card is and what it does for the game, I think is very healthy because like it's an option. Like it's just like it's an option that lets you like deal with like multiple types of threats. You could even like clear your own board of floodgate stuff like that. But it's obviously like it's still gonna be like a 2-for-1. So it's an option that you have that's not like broken.
yeah.
I guess does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah, Dire is a pretty good XCs. Is there any other good generic XCs besides Diamond Dire? Like currently right
I
now?
think. Some of the like protective ones, like Zen mains, might go up in the event that Sidra gets like more popular.
Yeah, Zen main stocks have increased a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zen mains and the other level rank 4, the
Maestro.
Maestro,
Maestro?
yeah.
Well, since we're talking about Sidras and all that, why don't we talk about the new, quote unquote, meta that is currently happening. Most of Top Cut in tournaments have been Sidras. Is that surprising to any of you? Or is it just like, yeah, that kind of makes sense?
No, I haven't even looked at any tournaments, and that makes complete sense.
I mean, it was completely unhit, right? So
Yeah.
But I just said
Yeah.
you got to do whatever you want to do. The
But
thing that pisses me off the most is that like I waited an entire year to use my dream ticket, and then 30 seconds after I used it, we used this ban list, and I
Bro-
didn't get fusion.
bro, me too. I did it like
actually got
2 hours
Fusion Gate.
before I got Lance. 2 hours after they dropped the balance, I was like,
I
oh, that's
didn't get fusion.
upsetting.
It was literally within a single minute.
No,
That's so shitty.
foot this,
I have 3 fusion gates and
That's a
none of the Cyber Dragon cards.
foot
I
this,
don't
bro.
like the decks. I don't feel that bad about it, but I do think it's the best deck right now.
Yeah.
Probably the
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I
sure at
agree,
one point
yeah.
I converted a fusion gate. just
Hey
so
man,
that one
Drizzles is coming in his pants, man. Like Sydra's best deck. My man is popping off right now.
Yeah.
But with the
He
whole,
can't wait to grind those side rooms.
but what's
Yeah.
surprising is
like
that
800 KC Cup games.
yeah, what's surprising,
I don't want to think about that, man.
fucking hell.
Oh.
What's surprising about the top cut, right? Breakdown, Sidras were majority, but the decks that actually won the tournament, there was actually 2 tournaments yesterday, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and both of them were won by Blue Eyes. Out of any other
Blue
deck, Blue Eyes, yes, Blue Eyes won both of the tournaments yesterday over everything else.
I saw his background. Like,
Yeah.
like when we hit a new meta and everything is dead but Sidra, like everyone's gonna be throwing spaghetti at the wall and they're gonna land at Sidra, and then it's gonna cut based off of just like power and popularity. And I think it's the best deck just in terms of like what it can do and like how badly it can kill you. but I do think that like this is a meta that we actually have a lot of opportunity to develop, and that we will see like the control.
Master of Destiny won a Japanese tournament.
Yeah, like
I did
Desperado.
see that. Yes, I did see that today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Grucius.
Yes, the one and only.
It's literally it's like the exact same deck, I think.
I remember in KC Cup, I was playing against some Italian player, and I'm like, I wonder if this is Grucius. He activates Cup of Base, and I'm like, it's probably Grucius. He activates a second Cup of Base. It's definitely Grucius.
Sag. But in honest opinions, guys, what do you really think is going to be meta now? Like, obviously Sydra's, but what else is going to be like another top contender against them? Because in yesterday's battle phase breakdown, Heroes actually managed to be right. It was either Sydra's were 13 or Heroes were 14, or it was the other way around. I think Heroes were 14, but Heroes actually didn't make that many top cuts. They actually dropped a lot. So is there any other deck you think would compete with Sydra's level in this meta?
I think
I
Ritual
don't think-
Beast
Yeah.
might be some.
I don't think Cyber Dragon's super overpowered either. I just think like
Yeah.
at the very beginning of the format, it's like
most
a
evident.
strong. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people will gravitate towards it because it's like obviously unhit. It was like pretty decent before the ban
Yeah.
list.
It's got very clear strengths, and it's like front
Yeah.
loads a lot of games, so it's hard to like justify other decks, which might like
And
play
Cyber Dragon's also like just like what it does makes it really good versus like rogue strategies. Like usually like if you play a deck that has like generic removal and your engine can kind of like I don't want to say spam, but like you can opt between aggressive or like defensive plays. Like you have pretty good rogue matchups just because like rogue decks usually don't have all their options available to them.
Yeah.
So you say a lot about Ritual Beast, right? Is the new strat to slap 3 Windas and a Petal Fin in the extra deck, in any deck? Because it's
Probably
you could
to be
think of
honest.
you could think of
Yeah,
Winda
I mean,
as the new
I-
invocation, right? And Petal Fin as the new Cositas.
Yeah, that might be something that starts coming up in certain decks, like just to survive Sidra in some other decks besides Ritual Beast.
And just like
You could even play Insider, and like you could even play Windows
Yeah,
Insider
yeah.
Dragon.
Yeah,
it's just giving you a turn 1 a lot of the time and just trying to like get you to do something. And it's identifying the things that like you can actually do with the cards that we have is going to be a lot of fun for this current meta because I haven't done that in a while.
That's
Or,
just, I mean, yeah, I
Well,
could see that.
It's because the decks have been so the same.
Exactly.
It's like, you
so
have to
it's-
plan around the same things.
So it's fun to like maybe have a chance to like see team building or deck building actually matter, and not just
Team
like
building. I got that.
there.
Yeah.
There's instincts. that
Smoke gun
it's not
players.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Nice one, nice one.
It's not Yu-Gi-Oh.
Pokemon at heart.
But, yeah, so I'm just excited to see what decks look like. Like I've always cared more about like deck building and team building, and like I've always liked seeing what I make do something as opposed to like the actual playing part. So I'm just excited to do that a little bit more, as opposed to just like running the same list 4 wars in a row.
Yeah, this week's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I think there's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
decks in this week. A lot of different, just unique decks. But what's interesting, I want to go back to the ban list, right? Alistair, Invocation to 3. So now you can only play, technically, if you're being
One
optimal,
more.
2 Alistair, 1 Invocation. With that, do you guys think Konami might release another fusion?
No.
Please no.
Mekaba,
not.
Mekaba one time, Raijin, maybe?
Also, like, here's the
His
thing.
side
If
just
they, were
need a
gonna, if
boost.
they were gonna give us another fusion, they would probably not hit any of those.
They wouldn't have hit it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
realistically speaking, but also like
Yeah.
in terms of power balance, like knowing the other fusions that are in the game, probably not.
Right.
But Mekaba one
Yeah,
time.
We want
I
to
don't
sell. We want
think
to
it's
sell
gonna
Cyrus even
be-
more.
I don't think it's gonna be any soon from now since they hit the ban list. I think they would wait a long time before they release something, and then they would maybe free up invocation or something, but they wouldn't release something after a hit.
Yeah, it's also hard to imagine like a meta where like invoked is not like an oppressive force. Or, like the game has to power creep so far for it to not be like an issue, I think.
Like invoked is even meta in like TCG.
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
I did see that. I talked to some of the TCG guys
Like,
on
I'm
here.
not even like some scrub from your
Yeah,
local
yeah,
place.
it's like
literally like one of the best.
it's one of the best decks, and I talked to one of them. They're like, he couldn't,
And, like,
he can't believe
it's
that
so
Duel
good
Links.
that the fusions that we complain about, they don't even use.
Yeah, like he's in shock that Duel Links managed to deal with Alistair, but TCG can't do it. But I do wanna. I want to go into another point of the ban list, is that they didn't really unlimit any of the older decks. Like they didn't unlimit 6AMs. They didn't try to. Okay, hold on, hold on. Let me get there. Dark Lords didn't get released. Eggshell needs to be freed. At least put the 3. That's my personal opinion. Put the 3. It would deal with it.
We got the new engine.
That's my personal opinion. You don't gotta agree with it. And I do think 6AMs need Clash. That's they just can't do much,
like,
right?
They don't profit off of that at all. Like they have no reason to unlimit these cards because one, like unlimiting them won't change the meta, and two, like they're not planning to release anything that would make them relevant. So
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I was saying this in like another stream, but like I think that cards like Clash and even Kite, like people can disagree with me on Kite, but I don't think these cards deserve to be on the same tier as like Enemy Controller and Tretch. And True Nade's like kind of different because True Nade is like Tretch, Econ, and True Nade are all broken, but like the way that they're broken is like at least Tretch and Econ are like interactively broken, right? Whereas like True Nade is like it's not even a broken card. It's just extremely like cheesy.
Yeah. You could talk to like different people, and everyone will have their own opinion about True Nade. It's unhealthy. It's healthy.
But like
It should be banned. It should be limited. Yada
True
yada. See, would you look at that?
yeah,
See?
I think rebalancing like Clash and maybe even Kite to be at 3 could be something that they could look into because when these cards were hit, they were not like we didn't have a limit 3, right? So like the immediate thing to just to put them at like limit 2, but like if you have to choose between like Tretch, Econ, and Clash, you're never choosing Clash. Like and
Poor guys.
Like, so like they might like by semi-limiting those cards, they basically banned them.
Yeah.
Even in
Yeah.
decks where you have 3 semi-limits, like Clash just doesn't even feel like this too.
I don't know. I mean, like Clash is probably like the fact that it's like a quick play and not, but like it has like it's like not like it has like good value as a defensive card just makes it really.
Yeah, it's good.
I could see why it's on the list, but like I think like choosing between Clash and Cosmic is a real decision, whereas like choosing between Econ and like Clash is like a joke.
Yeah, or like Clash, it's like has a lot of interaction, but like in the general sense, more of the player base would rather like take the like oppressive value of a treacherous winning a game or a
That's fair
True Nade
enough,
winning a
yeah.
game.
Yeah, exactly.
But is Clash healthy? Because I've talked to different people, and some people say
I think
yeah,
Clash,
it's
I
healthy.
think Clash is a super.
It's interactive,
I
but some
think
other people say
when
no,
most
it's
players
not.
have access to Clash, it is a very healthy card.
All right.
Yeah.
What happens if only
I mean,
one
like,
person
it helps
has
that,
it?
like you could. It helps that like one of the counters to Clash is Clash, right? Like.
But what happens if only one person has it? Then at that one, at what point, what is it?
I mean,
Unhealthy?
that's the same thing as what if only one deck has True Nade?
One deck
What
has
if only
Econ.
One deck has Econ. Yeah, it's the same. Like,
It just comes down to just drawing it, draw a better forehead.
like you can see like with Witchcrafter Mirrors, right? Like even when they both had like at full power when they had access to Econ, Econ was like the most insane card in that matchup, right? And pretty much like the only way you could seriously counter Econ is by having Econ yourself.
I don't know much about the mirror. I don't even know much about the deck. Just got hit almost immediately and died.
Or like, even like metas where Tretch is like super prevalent, like the only way you can really counter Tretch is with your own Tretch or with like Cosmic, but like you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. But alright, since somebody brought it up, for hires, Dampa finally freed, meaning for hires now have access to Trunade again. Will that change something for hires? They do have Dyna1 still, as they're not full power
What
yet.
are you swinging over with for hires?
Yeah.
I mean, you got Bravo.
Shining Elf.
You got Bravo. I'm just saying, Bravo Dyna, big boost, big damage, man. Tie that binds,
All right.
you can swing
When
over
to
everything.
pass, what does the deck do?
Ah,
XYZ for Shining Elf.
yeah, let's go. So
Yeah, it just doesn't do what it does is outclassed like severely still.
Yeah.
so even
I
if
think, like, the
we,
nerf to beatdown.
Yeah, that's
inadvertently just,
true.
Like, for hire was on the sidelines, but the nerf to beatdown really just like keeps
I
it
mean,
from.
they were
actually
also the reason for the first nerf to beat
fighting
down,
one.
so.
Yeah.
yeah, they sure were. So is the infamous for hire tier 0 no longer possible?
No.
It never was.
Good.
Never was. Oh, that's a statement I don't agree with. I personally think they were tier 0. Much like
Oh, yeah.
much
I
like
mean,
6 Sams.
I didn't mean like
Oh, you mean the other,
yeah,
you meant the other way,
it's
right. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. So with that, for hires coming out, we also have something else coming out. Nice segue. We have the new structure deck EX Noble Knights. Thoughts? Is it good? Is it bad? Tales of the Noble Knights. We got Madrat
alright.
reprint, right? I think that's a pretty big one. Madrat, Merlin.
I think it's really cool for like
It's
newer
Konami.
players because like you can build the entire deck just off of 3 structure decks. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
It's kind of like
I also think,
it's kind of like D
it might
Heroes,
be-
right?
Well, yeah. Similar. There, like, you need mass change for hero, but like
Yeah, that's true.
Listen,
it's similar in that sense. Yeah. Go ahead.
no, I thought match change was in something else. I didn't remember what it was.
That's in the
But I think it was
box.
a selection box.
It was
It's
in a selection and a structure.
No,
It's in the
it was
Koga
in the
box,
box
isn't
with
it?
plasma
Yeah,
box.
it's in a
Yeah,
Koga
yeah,
box.
It's in the Koga box.
You just don't get
Okay.
Enki.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the Anki box with Canada and stuff.
I think this might be the best like solo XYZ deck though. Like Shark deck.
Yeah.
Like as cool as it might be, it's not like I don't know, it's not like the most effective
Yeah.
strategy. It's like neat to mess around with, but I don't think it's like gonna change the meta to a degree. But like Noble Knights, I don't think it's gonna be tier 1. But it definitely
I was
has
gonna-
like a chance to be like on the tier list as
It
opposed
feels
to like
like-
every other XYZ deck they've given us.
It feels like a tier 3 deck, but it could also be tier 2 just like if the other decks are really weak, just because it's a new meta. I tested the deck a little myself. I think like it struggles a lot with like floater monsters, like Winda, I guess, or just like anything that like doesn't really care about being destroyed.
I also do think we're just going to see it a lot too because of the accessibility. Like, it's just so easy to get now, and especially in the new meta, you can just have a deck that's like probably fine for $20. I think that's pretty
Yeah.
sick.
Actually, maybe that's understated, but like the fact that there's a new like very accessible budget option after like Shiranui,
Yeah, until
Invoked,
everything died.
like these other decks that
Yeah.
people were playing for so long are like out of the game. Like more people might move over to the new budget option, which I guess we don't always.
I
think
kind
of,
of expect that like either the mini box or the next main box will have some additional support for the structure deck.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
because that's
that's
usually
been
how they
like
do
the
it. But
trend, yeah.
I think, yeah, I think like the deck is like even without that support at the moment, it's like still like pretty playable. Yeah.
Speaking of mini box, main box, I do believe it is the new main box coming out soon. Yes.
No, mini box next.
Mini.
Mini? Shark Fang. Oh yeah, right. So it would be the mini. People are saying it's gonna be a fire box,
Infernobles.
perhaps.
Oh my
But
god.
speaking
I
of,
don't know what any of those cards do.
That actually.
me neither.
Does that make people
Yeah,
complain?
but like, yeah, but like, it kind of makes sense, right? Like,
Yeah, maybe Excalibur. I heard if they add Excalibur, Noble Knights are gonna be good. That's what I heard.
actually, like, I looked over their support later, and I think there's a lot of cards they could get that could make them potentially good. So, yeah.
Well, with the Firebox, there is an event coming out pretty soon, actually, where you can unlock O'Brien, the man himself, Volcanics, the guy with the gun. Do you think they're gonna add Scattershot? That's my dream, to get Scattershot at least. Give me a
For
couple.
250.
Maybe with half the damage.
Give me a couple Scattershots, man. Give me 2. Make it like Malicious. Give me 2. Please make him be good. That's all I'm asking. But is there anything else that you guys want to talk about in terms of the ban list? Like any other decks that you are keeping your eyes on, like maybe Witchcrafters or maybe the Christrons, right? Maybe Desperado, because I've seen people play Desperado.
Like, I think the matchups you wanted it in, like, all of them are still here. So I think that's my, like, I want to see how that deck fares, especially if, like, Ritual Beasts go up or something.
Which deck?
Desperado.
Okay.
Just, like, as a more general pick now, as opposed to, like,
I mean, in when they nerfed the Scrap Recycler, they nerfed Desperado with it, because you can't play Cup of Ace and
Crucians don't
Recycler
even
anymore.
have Scrap Recycler in the list, I thought.
Some people did play Scrap with Super Buddy.
Yeah,
With
but
Cup of Ace.
but some people also didn't play it at all, so it's not like needed. It's not a must.
Yeah, I think it
for the
went
deck.
away like, pretty unscathed. I don't think Scrap Recycler was
Yeah.
Yeah,
important.
that's true. But do you guys might? I know Negative1 also was a big fan, but do you guys? Could you see Witchcraft is coming back now that everything's shaking up?
Yeah, I think they could make it a return in this meta. Honestly, like the worst 2 matchups are gone. Yeah, but obviously it's the consistency is hit. But I think they're gonna have a good spot, at least in Timos, and there's no side deck. I think they could make a good return.
I'm not gonna say too much because
Ah,
once again, like,
that's messed up.
FN versus
Yeah.
1% is gonna happen.
That's fucked.
I don't want to
up.
give away
That's why I'm not
anything.
saying
but, like,
anything either.
That's fucked up,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
That's
you kinda
fucked up.
just-
Expect a lot of Witchcrafters in that match.
Yeah.
but
You're-
I think
You're
just
telegraphing,
generally,
guys.
like,
You guys are telegraphing. If you're not gonna say anything, it's pretty obvious.
combo decks in general, like, it's difficult for Konami to like hit with just like, oh, we hit one card and then the deck dies. Like, I think true combo decks, like, it just shows like Konami has to hit Scrap, Citri, Rion, Impact, Genix Controller just to like try to kill Christrons, but like
Bruh,
even then there is a chance that the deck might still exist.
bruh. Genix did
because,
it.
like,
Genix
It's like
did
a
nothing
small
wrong,
chance,
man.
but, like,
It's like you can change, like, if it's a combo deck, then it should be able to change its playstyle based on what resources it has, right? Like for example, Christrons or Witchcrafter at full power, or even like Dark Lord, like other types of combo, like they're capable of like going aggressive, going like defensive, and like the reason why they were so broken is because they can adapt how they play. Just because you hit them in like a certain way, unless you like straight up like kind of like this ban list, but like they should be able to like adapt, right? Like they survived like 2 Rions, they survived 2 Impacts. Like I don't know if they'll survive this, but like, it's like just I'm just like following Meg's point.
yeah.
Okay, so I know we've talked a lot about the ban list, but I I'm just curious. I'm really. I know you guys don't want to say much, but I'm very curious about new decks, right? So I have seen certain Shiranui decks. They're crap. Well, I don't want to talk about them. But I did see Maya Kashi's being played. Do you think that might return, or not return, but just be the Shiranui version of, Shiranui? Is that going to
New way
replace
to
it?
play Shira?
Yeah.
It's possible.
Or is it bad? Just like bad.
It is possible.
I don't
It's
think
like everything else.
Yeah, like the problem is just it's hard to say right now. Because like the meta is like you have the things that like you need to be like everyone is gravitating towards the ritual beasts and the black wings and the cyber dragons and the blue eyes. Like those are the decks we already had that are good, but the new stuff is gonna take some time, I think. And especially it's gonna be taking some time to do well, right? Like even we just said earlier, I don't remember Negative1 or Andy said it, but like built a Crystron's build and then a new one the next day, right? And then just a bunch of stuff like that is going to be happening for a while.
Yeah, that is true. It's pretty up in the air what's going to be tiered or not. I do think the top player council has a lot to worry about this upcoming tier list. Negative1, I'm sure you know a lot about it.
I won't give away my tier list vote, but I can pretty safely say that I'm pretty sure Karkuri is not making it back.
Oh,
I think
let's
some
go.
people
Pog?
I think some people actually voted at tier 3, I'm not gonna lie. But
Alright.
Technically, there's 4 merchants.
Can we get names and can I get lists?
Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I did play Katakuris with 1 merchant and 2 Katakuri spider just because I wanted to see it. It was awful.
There's a decent chance Ritual Beast might
You
be
need to up your
tier
spider
1.
count.
You're right. I should play at 3.
Honestly, like any meta where like Winda Pass is good enough of a turn 1, like Ritual Beasts are usually pretty good.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's time to
Usually-
slap Winda into every deck.
No, I'm saying like that's how you can usually tell whether or not Ritual Beast is good in a meta. Like if you can pass on Winda and it's probably alright, then usually that means Ritual Beasts are a pretty good deck.
I think Ritual Beast might be tier 1 this week, but like the problem with Ritual Beast and side deck is that they get completely obliterated when anyone expects them.
That is true.
So, if they are tier 1 this week, they're probably going to be tier 2 next week, just by the nature of the format.
Yeah, I don't
We don't
expect
have
them to
poisonous
play.
winds.
That is true. We're not
yet.
true, maybe.
Not yet. We saw 2 system downs from Gokis in the last week. Like our team got hit by a big system down, so that deck can main deck any spell.
Hey
like
man,
that.
you got hit with System Down and Necro and you still won that match. I saw that. That one was
Yeah.
crazy.
That's what
the
Goki's
next-
going to do. 3 wins, 3 system, 3 Necro.
No,
Goki.
Goki. I think they're interesting. I don't know if Gokis are good enough to be in this meta. I think they're just too slow.
They're really bad against Hydra as well. Like, I don't know if they really have a spot. Their only niche is being able to play balance with like Necro or Poisonous Winds, but I don't think the deck itself is really that strong.
I think their main niche is that they can like deal with other control decks because they trade very well. But like if no control deck is around, like who are they trading against?
Themselves. I guess.
And,
But
also against like Ritual Beasts, like pretty sure they just like
Yeah,
do not
you can
trade
never get
Ritual
over
Beasts
that.
at all.
that is
So,
true, yeah.
Ritual Beasts and Sidra seem like very bad matchups for the deck.
I did.
Yeah.
There was a day ago. Was it a day ago? I believe it was. They were saying magnets, best XC's deck. But I
I
felt like they
I
dropped.
Three
love
betas.
magnets.
I only have 2 betas, so I can't test it.
Oh, that's messed up, bro. Go farm it.
No, you can play just 2
You
beta.
can't farm it. It's
The gamma
it's a
count,
level
bro.
up reward, and then no, it's a dual reward, and then it's like a bingo ticket, I think.
No, it's
No,
what I
what?
meant.
What are you
No,
talking about?
You're being
No,
silly.
it's-
We have
We have all three of them
Wait, how do you get the third one?
Yeah.
from regular Yugi.
Literally
Regular
the
Yugi.
regular baby Yugi.
Oh.
Like all the they're the place that is
Wait,
across
no,
the
I
baby
have-
Yugi.
Yes. You okay, Andy?
Maybe I don't have the Defraud one leveled up.
You okay, Andy? You clear your head.
If you want to keep your gems, that's one thing. But
If you want to find out how, you can check a little website. I don't know if you heard of it.
called
Duel Links.
It's
Gamea.com.
duellinksmeta.com.
Okay, mate. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on magnets? Because I heard people say magnets are good, but they were good in more of control. Because they Xyz pop, and then
So,
Berserkerion go brrr, right? Like, can they do that now?
So last year at Worlds, Magnus was like a really big legendary deck, and I'm pretty sure I bricked like every single game I've played it. So I don't think I'm gonna play it still.
Oh,
Yeah,
Such a
betas.
fun deck is the big thing. Like it's one of the few decks that are left that I actually have fun playing with. I don't enjoy like of the established ones. Like I don't like Cyber Dragons. I don't like Black Wings, and I'm too stupid for Ritual Beasts.
what? You don't like Summon Core Win? Unreal.
But Magnets are fun.
I have seen Magnets play, and they have top tournaments. Obviously, that was the old, unbanned meta. They did beat other meta decks, right? But I don't know if they can be good, because I like they said, it was mostly they had a player around the back row, they just destroy back row, and then Berserkerion just starts popping, and he just goes.
Off the front row, it'll be fine.
Maybe. But
He's
another
also a
one.
floater, so
That's
he's-
true. Another one that people have been playing, and I believe this battle phase I counted the decks before I got on. It was Ritual Beast top cut, and then right under them was Thunder Dragons. Now, Thunder Dragons are an interesting one. Livianeer still not released, by the way. Stratos is not Livianeer. Do you think Thunder Dragons are do they have a place in the meta?
I'm not gonna reveal where I voted Thunder Dragon.
Ah, so tier 1, I see. You believe. I mean, they're a good deck. They got Livianeer, non-targeting, always strong.
I think it's too early to say for sure about Thunder Dragons, but they've been doing okay in the past meta, so they're probably gonna have a spot in this meta as well. But I'm not sure if they're gonna be like a great deck, like a tier 1 or a high tier deck, because it's too early for that.
Yeah, that is true.
As far as I can tell, too, they kind of like it's hard to OTK through Wimbledon unless I'm dumb. I felt like some of the floaties were kind of hard. Unless I didn't know the deck works at all. But I like Wimbledon into Wimbledon into Ulti Battlefield was like kind of hard to OTK through. Just in general, that's one card.
I saw a lot of people playing Weather Painters, which is interesting because you think why would they play Weather Painters? Like Black Wings and Siders are being, right now they're mostly played, right? Like, and that's just a terrible matchup for Weather Painters, both of them.
No, Black Wings are fine. Black Wings is
Black Wings are fine. That's what you truly think that.
Black Wings are 100%. Hydra is the bad matchup. And they lost their good matchups. So
I mean, I heard DM was unwinnable.
They got hit by the ban list because they lost their good matchups and because of Citra. What other pages are like tech? You think they're fine, but they're kind of garbage, right?
I mean, they are garbage. They were always garbage. That's my take on it.
No, they were okay before, but now you kind of lose the reason to play them.
Yeah.
I still love the deck. I'm still holding it up for Aurora. And whenever we get other stuff,
What about Megaliths? Megalith Rise Up, gang? Who's with me?
I don't understand Megalith enough.
You know what they do at all. The only one I played recently was just like making
I don't understand Megalith.
They're just spending really force.
The Megalith's big brain, man. What can you expect? You got a ritual from your hand and ritual from their turn. That's too much work.
Actually, I read all the Megalith cards during the September KC Cup, so I know what they all do, and I know what it's going on. I just like don't understand why people play it.
It's a good deck, I guess.
No comment.
Yeah, no stuff as well.
That's either a bad thing or a good thing. But I think I do believe we're gonna wrap it up. Even though there are no questions, I was gonna maybe go into questions and answers, but nobody asked questions. I blame the chat. But yeah, I do think that the new ban list with the new meta is gonna make this week very interesting, right? The guests that we have, all their matches are pretty much in the wildcard bubble. All of them are very important. You have to watch probably every single one of them if you're if you're part of that team. Phoenix, TZ, APK, right? The people in that, you kind of want to watch every single result. Yeah. But is there anything else you guys want to sign off with before we get on out of here?
I think how this week will go might mirror like week 3, or not week 3, week 2, just because this is I don't think we've had like another Team War season where like no real cards are introduced, but like we've had 2 ban lists.
What happened in week 2?
In this one season. And like how teams like figure out the meta after the last ban list might be similar to which teams figure out the meta.
The ban list happened like right after the first week.
What ban list was that?
Yeah.
The first ban list of this format, yeah. Of like this season.
Like,
that one wasn't as bad as this one though, by any.
Yeah. It was much more.
Well, I'm pretty sure this is
that
the
one had
biggest,
a lot more skill changes. They were just trying to like. Yeah.
They were trying to stop the tier 0 like card curry.
I'm trying to remember what that ban list was, but like it felt like okay.
It was Karakuris and Witchcrafters, I believe. I think those were the ones that got hit.
Witches got hit in like a separate thing. I thought they like got emergency patch.
No, it was
it was the same.
It was the same one.
It was the same ban list, but then later on, that was like their first like legitimate hit.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, the first hit was the one alone. That was the holiday, and then they did the charge as well. That was the
right. Oh, right.
Charge was a real hit.
I forgot about charge. Like that ban list is tame compared to this like most recent one, so I didn't remember it.
But yeah, speaking of blarajan actually said something that I didn't even bring up regarding this new ban list. They didn't actually change any skill. Like not a single skill got changed. Not a single thing got unnerfed.
Negative1 had promised me that there would be some skill buffs. And
Neg,
yeah,
really,
I
bro?
said like they're probably gonna buff some random skill that nobody cares about.
True.
And then they didn't do that, and I was kind of surprised. I'll be honest.
Were you surprised that they didn't nerf a deck, like any nerf skills that you?
I was not. I was 100% not surprised that they didn't nerf any.
There aren't any. I don't think there's any like turbo broken skills right now. So
yeah.
What skill could you nerf?
D-draw.
At that point, we just like kill. Like we're just gonna play vanilla card games. Like
Like usually when I build a deck, I'm like, all right, what skill has really good synergy?
I've been looking for
but during like the KC Cup, every time someone sends me a deck list and I see like Destiny Draw or something, I guess that makes sense. Every skill sucks.
Yeah.
Like
I go through like at least like twice a week. I go through the skill list hoping to find any useful generic.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like Creator was probably viable last format.
It's probably.
Oh my god! Don't say that.
I was looking at it.
Maybe.
Don't say that. That's so bad.
Which one, is that the draw 2 card one or?
No,
that's the powerful
card.
Okay. I was thinking about extra.
Yeah, extra. I don't know about extra. I think that's crap.
Like if you look at all the skills, there's only like 3 categories. It's like balance and restart is for early game consistency. You have level log and level dupe for like mid game extender, and then you have draw sense and then destiny draw for like mid game like consistency.
What?
So it's like
I'm a huge fan of decks that are like only possible with the skill, right? Like I think one of the earliest examples is like 3-star demotion. Like those type of decks, regardless of like how strong the skill is, I think those decks are always cool.
Oh, so you're saying bring back Casey Bling?
No, that's like but like that, like there's no difference from using KC Blink every turn and just top decking, like top decking whatever card you're gonna blink for it. Like it's like draw sense skills are like that. Like obviously you can 100% guarantee it, but like in terms of
If you're
the
lucky,
feel of the game,
you don't need a
yeah,
skill.
yeah, like yeah, like the
Oh,
feel of the game is not like it doesn't change the feel. Whereas like for example, good
Cards.
example, Subterra Nemesis Warrior was a card that was like completely unused when it came out in like the actual card game because like it doesn't do anything, right? Like you have to have another monster, you have to whatever. But because because like we had a skill like Mass Tribute or like Labyrinth Builder, you were able to like actually combo with the card in like a very consistent way. And regardless of how like degenerate or like how like debatable Subterra is as a deck type, I think that decks that are influenced by skills in the same way as like Subterras were are really cool for the game.
Except for Cyber Dragons. I just want that dead.
Oh yeah, Cyber Dragon's really lame though. Like it's like Cyber Style was actually pretty cool when it came out, but like
Yeah.
they had to hit it.
Like,
Yeah.
I want a meta weekly with vampires using Cyber Style.
Oh, hey, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I
man,
remember hearing.
fuck Cyberstyle. I hate that skill.
At the time,
Yeah.
it was just like, do you want free tributes? We're like, okay.
Cyberstyle for econ take. Fuck that. That shit wasn't fun.
nuts.
That was never fun. Cyberstyle was never fun.
Such a legitimately
No.
fun.
Yeah, but like it's like see that it was cool. It's just like the way that it's used now is like because Konami put it in such a way where it's like, okay, you can't use it for this, you can't use it for that. It's like, well, okay, what can you do with these anymore other than just like exactly what they want
Degenerate
you to?
Fusion Gate.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much it.
Which I think like the Fusion Gate play is actually very interesting. I think I'm pretty sure like 100% Konami did not see that coming. Like the Fusion Gate fusion support,
Yeah.
like that's a very interesting like
Yeah,
just
I thought it was really
conceptually
cool.
like that
Mhm.
that puts so much damage on board, that plays around a whole lot, and like just as an idea, like if you're the person who came up with that idea, that's like such a crazy like cool
Yeah,
interaction.
I
But
agree.
like the fact that we've had it for so long and that it's just like very routine. Okay,
Just like
Fusion
it's
support,
cool, like
Fusion
the
Gate,
same way that like
thank you for playing.
volcanic shell switcheroo is cool, but like at some point, like those type of mechanics have to be like addressed. Like it's cool that
Yeah.
like when someone figures it out, and then you're like, oh, you can like build whole decks out of it like this, like that. But at some point, like it's old, you know. Like we have to find a new
Yeah.
thing.
That is true. But I think that is gonna wrap us up. Any final closing thoughts? Any shout outs that you like to make?
Shout outs to Grucius.
Yeah, shout outs
AC
to
Cup.
Grucius, man.
Yeah, good job, Groove.
Let's go, Gru.
Yeah. Congrats everybody. He's gonna be at the next WCS in 2025.
True.
So,
The year just keeps
And-
increasing.
Yeah.
Before I was like, oh, it's gonna happen, but like probably get delayed. But if me and Grucius have a world's ticket, Konami definitely is gonna never do it. So
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, we're gonna pass it on to DOLE with Kamel. New tournament, new ban list, even with the unlimited dual room. So Dragunities for hires can be played. We're gonna pass it on to them. And I just want to say thank you so much for our guests, Andy, Buns, Blar, James, Negative1. Thank you so much for taking the time of your day to sit down and talk with not only me, but with other fellow guests. It means a lot to not only, I'm sure, to Team Wars, but it means a lot to me. You know what? I love you guys.
I love you too, Sue.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Cool.
Get some love. Let's
no
go.
homo.
Yeah, no homo, no homo, no homo. All right. I catch you, chat. See you guys later. I see you guests.
Good luck, everyone. Good luck, everyone.
Good
on
luck.
the rewards
Good
this
luck,
week.
everyone, in week 10. Every,
See you all.
see
y'all in
y'all.
playoffs.
See y'all in playoffs.
Actually-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we could all make it, so let's do it.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, I was gonna say there's 4 teams. Like there's 4 wildcard teams, right? And there's 4
Yeesh.
people in wild.
I didn't remember if anyone in the call was in a do or die with each other. I think it was just Diffusion.
All right, I'm a
all 5 of us can actually make it.
maybe.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, yeah, like
because like I think some divisions are close enough that like, even if they're not in wild card, they
Yo,
like the
all
teams
right,
in like second
Division
can still
3
fall into wild card.
Division 3 is so insane. Like, isn't like the first seed team like X3?
Dude, like,
Yeah, actually, just the first two, Sunclan and Switcheroo. But Switcheroo is really high in RD, but Sunclan is very close to us. Like we can end up second place, and Sunclan goes to wildcard.
Yeah, but I'm saying like when you have divisions like that where like the first seed team's like X3, that means like
Yeah,
I think it happened last season where like
no,
a team was first seed on like the 9th week, and on the 10th week they were wild card.
in season 4,
Yes,
like
that
Spawn,
was
we
us.
took first in our division at X and 4.
oh yeah, I remember that. Like we were just we were just
We were-
watching that
Yeah.
division, and it was just like a lotto. Like literally any of the teams could end in first or like
we were looking
wherever.
at like someone made like one of those interactive graphics about like how the teams were like their placements were shifting across the week. Like week 7, we were 7th place in the division, and then at week 10 we were first. It was that bananas.
That's insane.
All right. I'm gonna wrap it up. All right. I'll see you guys later. I'm actually gonna end it. Peace.
All right.
Wait,